Welcome to another episode and video on my robotic arm with pneumatic hand. Controlled by Robo Interface with extension programmed in Python. Last time I had problems with the sensors, actually micro switches or mini switches, whatever, this kind of things, and by changing my algorithm into a lot of ifs instead of else ifs, things seemed to have improved, but problems still remain that if I touch this sensor, the vertical gearbox comes to a standstill. This keeps working, so the yaw works, and then mostly the wrist pivot works, but there's something else as well. Apart from the detection of this one and the non-working of the vertical gearbox, this runs through too many times. So, if I look at the way that this situation is put, then I have here this bipolar switch and this just one switch with two contacts. This bipolar switch has one moment that the switch actually makes the switch, and that moment should coincide with the click that this one makes. And that hasn't happened. So as a result it pushes forward, and that should not work. So let me slide this one a little bit. And now I'm pressing it, and that works. But how does it work when the arm is really in, or the wrist is really working? Would that still work? And there's only one way to actually control that without everything else working. Doing a diagnose. And very slowly, because I don't want to ruin anything. So let's assume that things are just at the point of going. What will happen? So, getting the diagnosis, opening interface, and then I will need to have the motor of this one, which is this wire coming all the way through, well, where? Slave 2 anyway. I hear some motor, but no response. That is the wrong one. Doesn't work either. Am I at the wrong position then? Always a nice question. That is this one. which ends in extension. That is, yep, extension motor 3. So that and that doesn't do anything. So this one is not no, indeed the extension, now is the extension working. The lights were off. So yep. And you heard it click. So why doesn't it move? Something is not quite right. It is the correct motor, but it doesn't do a thing. Input 3 is being done, which will be this one. But then again, all silence. So somehow something is wrong at this moment. But what? So I have used this motor, slave 1 motor 3, to get the bipolar switch pulled. Input 3 is, well, from 8 to 3 is 11, which is which makes perfect sense right here. 11, which is dual motor, or actually dual switch. But it doesn't do a thing right now. Do other things work? Yes, they do. I hear the motor whine, but why doesn't this one do anything? So, and if I handle the switch a little bit, it makes perfect sense. So let's close the interface for a moment and actually run the program. See whatever happens now. Now I've repositioned that switch. That is the compressor starting. The pivots of the arm starts. And alright, pivot switch of the arm is pulled, so it turns around, and for the rest nothing happens. The lower gearbox doesn't do a thing, and despite that here it says if not digital 9 and not digital 10, just go right, but it doesn't do it. Also the wrist pivot doesn't do it, despite it being pressed. So how to break this even? Let me press a switch on the lower gearbox, 10. Is it being recognized? Not really, because it is constantly being overruled by sensing the off switch, 11. So this is not a very good point. But why does it behave this way? And okay, let's stop this, because this is something that is unforeseen. Now, if digital switch is 11 then your status is 0. What is your status anyway? Let's go back here. Your status is 0. Okay. So in this case, seven is stop, then right, residual to the right. Okay. But I don't hear a thing happen. So how can I avoid this? Okay, slave input 3, and that is the point, of course. With this status valid, what does it do anyway? Residual is not going on now. The motor stops. I should be able to make it go. Instead, nothing happens. And this is quite worrying, of course. So let me press another switch. Yeah, most definitely. So the switch does work. And let me press yet another switch. Then I have probably to go here. Yes. This is from the hand. Ah, no wonder the little finger doesn't do a thing. There it gives absolutely no sign of life. And how about 2? That works. Okay, so I have to look after little finger. But the thumb works, and this one works as well, and this one works as well. So only the little finger doesn't work, but I'm diverting. In other words, everything works. And for completeness, the lowest, yes, works as well. But why doesn't this one work? As far as I can see, everything is connected. Ah, it was probably a wiring problem anyway. Oh. Okay, I have to be very careful now. Okay, so this works. Let's test once again. Closing it and see whatever happens. So what I did was a little wiggle at this wire when it started working. And then it gave a problem right here. And it pulled it way over, and it wanted to pull right the other side as well. So let's see with the program whatever happens now. If anything at all. Yes. See, and that is the same problem as happened before. And there it goes again. I still have to hold that motor at the moment. if I keep this motor like this, what happens? And a pause of 2 seconds or something? No. I don't see the yaw working. So basically, this isn't good. And again, only this switch is being recognized. So something in the setup isn't quite correct. But how to change this? Is the wiring... now I see something. Let me hold it. The wiring of this motor, of the yaw motor, is not correct. And then it won't do its thing, of course. Alright, hooked up again, and let's try again. Now the yaw motor immediately works. And now this one should work. But does it? I have my doubts. Why do I have to hold the motor for it in order for it to work well? Yes, pivot switch. Yes, again. But now it doesn't even turn, press the switch, so I have to shift it back into its former position. The yaw goes. And all the time I am holding that motor. Why do I have to hold the motor? Something is not right with the way the motor is being mounted somehow, and that causes a massive problem. And in the meantime, let's also try to run the lower gearbox. Which won't work because it is not signaled. So apart from this problem, I have a very different one, that sensors are not being detected at all. How to deal with that? One algorithmic problem that I have is that if one switch is being touched, so if, for example, digital 11 is true, then it does not respond to the other switches. And that is of course a problem, and it can only be solved by situations like this, if one and the other. Otherwise it won't do a thing. Now looking here, it handles the same condition. Well, the same switch with a possible different condition. So here I should actually say else if. Does this make everything go right? Well, probably not, but the fact is that if this is being switched and that one is being switched, what is the chance that actually occurs? Well, not much. Given the fact that it only touches shortly, has a 1 second sleeping time here as well, there's very little chance. Should I cover it? Probably. But then again, you can also only find out if it is actually working if you force the whole situation beforehand and then test on the condition. Another point that I don't like is this one. If not digital 9 and not digital 10. This is the lower gearbox. As it says, it moves the up and down movement of the arm. But why doesn't it work when no other switch is being touched? Why doesn't it work? It should. So let me save the changed code with the else ifs. Go to the this one and say do. Yeah. And what happens is it makes a very little movement and stops. And that's all it does. For the rest, it is quiet. So, how can I force things to do? Well, let me touch the thumb. There you go. Next. Nothing. What should happen is, if not these, do this. This should be verified anytime. But it's not. So now I touch 10. And it says direction is left. But it's not doing anything. It just stands still. Is there a wiring problem? I probably should check on that. This wire what's wrong now? I probably touched the wrong wire. Yeah, most likely. But let's check again. The thumb doesn't respond anymore. Little finger doesn't respond. No finger responds now. So this is worrying, so let's stop it. Verify all wires, quite important at the moment. Alright, so in here let's verify. Yes. Yes. Alright, I knew that one. Although it's totally unknown why it doesn't do that. I probably should take... No, the other one. This one. No, okay, there we are. And then take this one. So where are the fingers? Oh, that's a good one. I really need to... Oh, this is the extension. I'm afraid I don't even have the correct one for... No, I don't even have the schematics for the hand. Okay, so that is another thing to do. Anyway, except the little finger, the rest works. And then here again, this one works, this one works, and then the lower switch for it, and that works as well. So electrically everything works. Remains the question, why do I do that? Remains the question why this stops. And it should run all the time, and it does. So with all these problems, there's still work to do before anything else works again. So also now nothing pressed, and the vertical gearbox doesn't even do anything. Nothing at all. And I know it works, but unfortunately right now no such thing. That's a problem. And a short word to conclude this video. I had my doubts that I didn't have made the schematics for the hand, for the pneumatics, and yes, I did have it, I do have it. So I'll have to check on the wiring and where is what. Apart from that, of course, the algorithm has to change so that more sensors can be detected at the same time, which most likely will have as a consequence that the algorithm will grow and grow, but so be it. Apart from that, well, this problem still remains. Another problem is, why do I have to hold the motor for it to work nicely? I have to find it out, of course. And depending on my fix on the algorithm, things will start to work. So, with that conclusion, I will say goodbye now and thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and you can also follow me on Twitter, retweet and like, leave a comment. You can also follow me on Instagram, like and leave a comment. Please donate to keep videos coming to you. Much appreciated. More information on my website, and you can also become a patron and have your name mentioned as a supporter of my website, blog, video, and have your name mentioned, yeah, like I said, either on my website or with my video. And this is going to be continued. Bye bye.